Welcome networkers. Today we're going to install Python 3.1.1 on Windows 7 64-bit in preparation for our upcoming workshop. There are newer variants of Python out there, however we'll be using version 3.1.1 as it is the version used in Python programming for the absolute beginner 3rd edition, which is the workbook we'll be following along. We'll also be using Windows 7 in this installation example. The reason is that most of the screenshots in the book are from a Windows environment, and it will be easier to follow along if you have a similar environment. Also, if you're using a different operating system, or if you're using a different version of Windows, your install process might be slightly different. Uh, and hopefully it's not going to be too different. The main thing is that we want to get 3.1.1 installed with earlier versions of Python, especially with the 2.6 and 2.7. There have been some major changes so that things that worked well under those under Python 2.6 and 2.7 may not uh, there may not work as effectively under 3.1.1. Definitely things that work under 3.1.1 may not work at all under 2.6 or 2.7. So if you have an earlier version of Python, you may not, or if you intend on using an earlier version of Python for the workshop, you will not get the same results, and you would see a significant difference between the code samples used in the book versus the working code that you will have on your machine. So we're going to try and mimic the author's environment as closely as possible to minimize any differences in the environment. So without further delay, we're going to navigate to python.org and download our installer. Here we go. I'm using Chrome browser. We're going to go to python.org/download. Here we go. And we're going to go to the Windows section. Optionally, you could have navigated straight to /Windows, but I just want to give you a good idea of how many different versions of Python there are out there, how many different ways it can be installed. So optionally, you can just search the page for the specific version that we'll be using, which is Python 3.1.1. But we're going to scroll down just so that you have a good idea, so you're not too intimidated if you're presented with more options, and hopefully this will be familiar to you. And here we are. We're going to download Python 3.1.1, and as you can see, it's an older release, but it's it's going to be effective enough for what we need out of it. So here we go. I'm going to download the. Oh, we downloaded the wrong version. Sorry. We're gonna cancel that, and we're gonna, I guess, download the. What we want is the 64-bit installer. And here we go. So you noticed, yep, the difference in the file name. It says AMD 64. However, if you're using an Intel processor, as you can see, that it should make no significant difference, at least in this situation. So this I am running an Intel processor on this. So let's go to our download folder, and I'm going to close the web browser so that we have less clutter on the screen. And we're just going to run the installer and accept the default values. We may be presented with some operating system prompts. We'll work through those as they show up. And it just takes a couple seconds. Do we want to run this file? Yes, we want to run this file. We're going to install for all users of this system. And we're going to take note of this path. We'll be adding this path to our environment variables later on so that we can run the Python shell from a command prompt instead of launching it from the IDE. Here we go. We're going to accept the default packages that come with it. We're not going to significantly customize this in any way. And it's going to take about 20 megabytes of space. Hopefully you have that much to spare, and it'll take a couple seconds or a couple minutes to run through this install. So we're just going to take a break for a while. Okay, so we're presented with another prompt. Do we want to allow the following program to install software on this computer? Yes, we want to allow this program to install software in our computer. And there we go. Okay, our installation is now complete. We're going to click the Finish button, and there we go. We're just going to double check that the IDE is installed. We're going to run the Python shell from here, and we're going to just type in this thing here to be sure it's working. And there we go. So we have a successful installation. Yes. Okay, great. So now we're going to add the Python path to our environment variables. So let's just verify the install path that we accepted earlier. And we see that our executable is installed in C Python 3.1. So this is the path we want to remember and add to our path variables. So we're going to go to my computer, properties. We're going to go to the advanced system settings, and we're going to go under the advanced tab, and we're going to go straight to the environment variables button. And we're going to scroll down through the system variables here and select path. This is the one we want, path. And we're going to edit that, and we're going to add semicolon and our path after that. So that's what we want, semicolon, and then C Python 3.1. Okay, great. We're going to click OK. And your system may require a reboot for this path to become effective, as I've had this path set up earlier. My system may not, but once you've restarted your computer, you should then be able to go to your command prompt, and then from the command prompt type in Python, and you should see your Python shell. So this is truly a Python shell. We're going to type in print hello world, and there we go. We have a working installation of Python 3.1.1 on Windows 7 64-bit, and we are now ready to begin our first couple chapters in Python programming for the absolute beginner. Thank you for watching, and hopefully your installation goes as smoothly. Great. Have a great day. Thank you.